Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. It's Cindy here. Thank you so much for being here. I am going to be doing my nails at home using DND gel polish. This is my first impression on using this brand. First off, I'm going to be wiping down my nails with some alcohol. They're already prepped from the night before with builder gel. I'm also adding some alcohol into this glass container, and you're going to see a lot of speed throughs because if not, the video would be probably an hour and a half long. So I finished wiping, and the first step I do is apply some base gel. So this is again from DND, their base gel. I'm going to shake the bottle and just start applying the polish onto my nails. I also wanted to add that I'm wearing a sterilized glove, like one of the surgical gloves, on my right hand because I already did my nails on that hand prior to this video with my non-dominant hand, which is the left that we're doing today. So that's why I'm wearing a glove to protect the other nails that are already done. And it just keeps everything clean and avoiding any messes. So I put it under the light for a minute and just continue the same process with each of my nails. I forgot to add that this is a toothpick. It has a little piece of cotton on the tip, and it's great to clean the sides of your nails. Like if the polish, goes through your cuticle or on the sides, you can just quickly clean that up with one of those toothpicks. By the way, I'm going to try to leave you guys links to the products I'm using in the description box. So if you want to check that out, feel free to do so. This video is not sponsored by anyone, I wish, but you never know, in the future that might happen. So I'm just continuing to add the base gel to the rest of my nails. And apologies for any, blurriness or moments where maybe my hand is off camera. It was a little difficult. Like the angle wasn't the best, and I was doing this at night because my baby was sleeping, so I wanted to take advantage of that. But anywho, I'm continuing to apply to the last nail, my thumb. All right, now that the base is done, I'm gonna continue with the color. So our color lineup is this blue, which is called Lather Me Up. You'll see them later on as well. I have here a very light purple called Off the Grid. We have this beautiful green called Mint to Be. And the last color is Spiced Brown, which is a very rich brown. And my vibe here is early 2000s, kind of like Lizzie McGuire-esque type of vibe. I don't know. I was just winging it, and I just used my creativity and just went for it. So I'm starting off with the Off the Grid shade. You can see here on the screen. And I'm applying that to my pinky first. This part was slightly difficult because I don't know why. I think the polish was just a little runny. Maybe I didn't shake it well enough, but it kept going in the like creases or sides of my nails. So I had to keep cleaning it up with a toothpick. All right, so that one is done. First coat. Again, you want to put that under the light for a minute. All right, so that's the first coat. I'm going to add one more layer just to make the color a little bit more vibrant. I clean that up, and this is how it's looking so far. Again, 1 minute under the light. I always do 1 minute just because with gel polish, you want to make sure you cure that well. And now moving on to the thumb. So I decided to do like a different color for each nail, or basically a different design for each nail. Just wanted to have some fun, play with the polishes, do a funky style, you know? So I'm just finishing up this layer, the first coat for my thumb. One more coat of that same polish again, just to make the color more vibrant. For some reason, since this is a first impressions video, this color or this shade was a little streaky. I don't know if you can tell here in the video, but as I was applying it, I did notice that, like, as I was brushing the polish through, there were like some streaks, like some lines in between. So again, a second layer is helpful just to make everything more uniform and avoid that type of effect on the nail. Moving on to my ring finger, I'm going to apply some dots of each nail polish on the back of this little drill bit box that I have. You can use any hard surface. I just had this here, so I just turn it around, put some dots of each shade. Here we have Lather Me Up. And then we have the other shade, Meant to Be. It's a beautiful green color. I'm not very fond of the color green, but this one was something that I can commit to. Like the shade was like pastel, and you know, for this time of the year, it's a fun shade to use. And then the last dot I'm adding here is Spice Brown. Here I'm grabbing a liner brush in 8mm. This is a brush I use to do the French tips. You can do any type of line work with these type of brushes. This was actually, I don't know if my sister lent it to me or gifted it to me, but she also does her own nails at home, and she's been practicing for a while, and she's really good at it. But she had these brushes, and I asked her to let me borrow them. Again, I don't know if she gave them to me because this is my first time doing my nails at home after a very long time. But yeah, so here I'm just applying that off the grid shade with that liner brush on my ring finger to create a French tip. This honestly took me forever. I'm not a professional nail technician, and I don't know why French tips are so difficult for me. Like, I try my best to make it uniform, like not too thick, not too thin, and I also don't want like the sides to be like too, how can I explain this? Like, I don't want it too up, like a Y2K, you know, duck nail where like the lines are all the way up and it's like a thick line. Yeah, you can see here. I went over it a few times, and even speeding through it, it took me forever. So bear with me, y'all. Honestly, I think that's as good as it's going to get. Just like with this first layer, the second layer is way easier because once that dries under the light, it's literally just going back, coloring in with the polish over what you already traced out. So, again, the second layer is way easier than the first. So, here I am just cleaning the sides again. And once I'm done here, I'm gonna put it under the light one more minute. Next, with the shade Lather Me Up, I love this shade of blue. It's one of my favorite tones of blue. Blue in general is my favorite color, but this tone is just chef's kiss. So I'm putting that on my middle finger to the whole nail. I'm not doing another French tip. That's just for one nail. The other ones are basically solid. So I'm applying that to my middle finger. And then again, we're doing one more coat. It seems like the lighter shades require several coats because of that streakiness I was mentioning earlier with the purple shade. This one was also having the same issue. So it could be, again, because maybe I didn't shake it enough for like the color to, you know, spread evenly. But the layers will always help. So that's the second coat. Now moving on to the index finger, and I'm gonna apply Spice Brown to all the nail. Now this shade, on the other hand, is really beautiful. It's thick, the color is rich. I don't think this one required multiple layers. If you want to do that, you can, but I believe I only did one layer, like one coat of this polish on my index finger. So that says a lot. I love the color. I'm definitely going to be using this again for the fall time, which is my favorite season, by the way. Okay, so here I realized there was a little piece of lint, so I have to reapply that polish. It happens. I think because I've been using that toothpick so much, the cotton started to like disintegrate from the pick. So maybe a little piece of cotton got stuck on the nail when I was cleaning it up. So it's okay. Just wipe it down with that little cotton wipe and some alcohol and just do it again like nothing happened. All right, so now that I have all the color done, I'm going to use this liner brush in the 12 millimeter. It's looks like it's from the same brand of the other one, and if I'm not mistaken, my sister got these liner brushes on Shein. Shein has a bunch of nail tools that you can use. So here I'm going in with that liner brush in the color Spice Brown, and I'm just creating some vertical lines on my middle finger. So for this, you want to keep your hand as steady as possible. Trust me, with my right hand, when I did it the first time, with my non dominant hand, I was shaking. So I had to do it, I think, maybe 2 times. But you just want to make sure your hand is steady. You can rotate it on the side so you can have a clear view. And that way, just go with the liner straight down. Like, keep your hand steady, and it will do its best to make a straight line for you. So I ended up with only 3 lines, and honestly, I think it looks good. I was looking at them in this view, and I was thinking of doing more lines, but to be honest, I probably would have ended up wiping it out. So that's as good as it's gonna get. 1 more minute under the light. Now I'm gonna move on to my thumb and do the same, but this time I'm gonna do lines with all of the colors that I have, except with the purple, which is basically the base of my thumb. But I did the same technique by keeping my hand as steady as possible, rotating on the sides to have a clear view, and I did a more separate line so that way I can apply the other colors next to the brown. So each color that you use, you make the lines and then you put it under the light for a minute. Here I'm moving on with the blue color, and I'm only going to do this on the left side of each brown stripe. And I do go back several times just to make the color more intense. And then again, 1 minute under the light. And we're gonna move on to the right side of the brown stripe with the mint to be color, that green pastel. I'm gonna put that line down the right side of the brown stripe. This for me is honestly therapeutic because it makes me concentrate, and I really enjoy when things come together. And I think from afar it looks great. Up close and personal, you might not want to look at it because it's not perfect, but it's fun. Just do it. It's okay. Like, nobody's gonna judge you. And if they do, well, that's on them. So now I'm moving on to the ring finger. This design is just going to be the brown polka dots. And I love how this little pattern turned out. Super cute, very easy. 1 more minute under the light. Okay, so we're moving on to my pinky. I noticed that there's some dried gel polish on the sides. It could have, just went down the sides when it was drying under the light. So I just used this nail file with 100 to 180 grit. You can get these at Sally's Beauty. I think maybe Ulta sells these. I think my sister got this one in Shein. I mean, you can get this nail file anywhere. But yeah, I'm just filing down on the sides to remove that excess gel polish that got there. And again, with a wipe and some alcohol, I just cleaned the dust off to prepare for the design. So I'll take the dotting tool. This is from Savvyland, if that's how you pronounce it, I'm not sure. But it's basically the brand that you see there on my light. And I'm going in with the brown first and doing a dot in the middle. Then I used the green on the left, the blue on the right, and then I finished again with the brown, just so I can make sure I had enough space in between them. So I did like a little French tip dot, if you will. And then I dried that down. Finally, for my last nail, which is the index finger, I'm doing again dots. There's a theme here, y'all. I'm doing some dots in a more like uniform or like a pattern. So I'm using that green color and just applying them. So I first do 3 dots in the middle. That way I can have a better guide on the left and right side for the other 2 dots. Now that I'm done with the designs, I'm just gonna quickly wipe off the gel polish I use on the back of this drill bit box. And again, alcohol is great for everything. So I just put a little bit on this wipe, clean the back of the box, and it's like the polish was never there. So here's the little drill bit box. That's out the way. I'm also gonna wipe out this little glass container. That's clean, good to go. Alcohol is great at sterilizing, so you can always put some alcohol in a little spray bottle and spray all of your tools to sterilize or clean them. Now for the final step, we're going to use the top gel polish. This is a no cleanse formula, meaning that you don't have to wipe off the polish once you're done. A lot of places, if you've noticed, when you go to a salon or you get your nails done with gel polish, it's a little sticky, so you have to wipe it down. This one you don't, and I really like that. So I'm just going through each nail and applying 1 coat of that top gel. This is basically when everything kind of gets put together, you know? Like this is the final part and you're like all satisfied because your design is coming to life. That top gel really makes everything pop because of the gloss it has, like the gloss finish. Okay, so this is how we're looking so far. Before I finish, I'm going to file down the sides and under the nail to make sure any excess gel polish that got dried up is removed, just to make it a lot more polished, pun intended. So I'm finishing up with that nail file. All right, y'all, so this is how we're looking. I really love the final result. I'm very satisfied with this design. It's funky, it's fun, and here I am showing you both sides. As you can see, there's a slight difference. My middle fingers, one is blue, the other one's purple, and then the purple from the left is actually blue on the right. So they still look fun, they still look cute. I intentionally did that. I think the only ones that are the same are my index finger with the brown and the green dots. And now I'm just applying some cuticle oil. This is from the Ione brand in Dollar Tree, if you're familiar with them. My sister gave me this little pen for Mother's Day, and it's been super useful. You want to make sure you keep your nails hydrated. The cuticle is kind of like, let's say, the root of your hair. You want to make sure that you keep it hydrated because that's how they grow. Your nails grow from your cuticle. So make sure it's always clean and hydrated. Now I'm just rubbing that oil in each one of my nails. Aside from making them look even shinier, it's very soothing. It has a very light scent, which I enjoy. And this is the final result. I am so happy with it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.